Thank you once again for Test Fest organizers and the young and energetic team. And good day to all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Looks like we have a pan-global, participation. That's exciting to know. Well, today's topic is something that we are very enthused about to share some of our experiences and insights. While autonomous testing completely is, driving the way modern day software test automation can happen. And we believe it will play a stellar role in becoming a cornerstone of ensuring impeccable software quality for the modern era, particularly with the technology confluence of AI, ML, self-healing and self-learning technologies. Autonomous testing is a very compulsive option today in the harmony of future-led software test automation, which is what we're going to talk about, and also show something very interesting that I'm sure as practitioners you will all be able to relish and understand, right? I'm going to skip the introductions part, but it's immense, privilege for me to be introducing Sai, a Global President for QE and DevOps at Innomind. A lot of our QE practices and DevOps practices in terms of helping our global customers take advantage of the engineering technology prowess that Innomind brings in while putting software quality as an assurance that we deliver for our customers. And needless to say, a lot of that today is with an AI-first approach and an autonomous testing approach in terms of our ability to accelerate the market readiness of some of the finest software the world is seeing, right? And I drive the global marketing positioning and strategy. Let me move ahead. Innomind is a platform-led, full-cycle digital product engineering company. We are a Silicon Valley headquartered company based out of San Jose. We're about 1,300 plus people. Simply put, what we do, we power the digital next initiatives of global software product companies in terms of co-creating software for them, which means that scores of companies, Fortune 2000 companies, leading ISVs and OEMs rely on the power of Innomind in terms of helping them create next generation products, SaaS applications, cloud native applications, IoT devices, IoT applications. And some of the largest enterprises work with our teams in terms of taking advantage of a deep understanding of artificial intelligence analytics. But what is so very contextual to today's conversation is, while we do a lot of these application development, product development, IoT development, AI-infused work for all these customers, global software product companies, global OEMs, global enterprises, we sort of test automate their application landscape. We make sure continuous testing is something that we deliver with impeccable quality, and we do it with a lot of focus on automation, right? So that is what makes us today come in front of you to share some of those experiences, which Sai will talk about at length. And as an organization globally, we've served the largest of the customers, so 50 plus customers today that we work, some of the world's largest product companies included, right? And we sort of focus on these three areas, considering the fact that today modern day companies are pretty much software companies, right? They sort of are working in areas that intersect between software products, IoT and embedded products, and also how they can, take advantage the power of AI and data. So when we put all of this together as a digital next company with our unique expertise in device apps and analytics, we help deliver what we call a chip to cloud and cognition landscape. And notably for all these companies, I repeat, what we do is a lot of software quality engineering, continuous engineering, and test automation work, right? So which means that global companies rely on our ability to help them create experiences, modernize applications, build devices, do agile and continuous engineering, or apply a lot of AI-infused work for the cognitive era. But none of this is complete without making sure that they are well tested and well automated. That's what we mean by promising software quality for the modern era. And as an outcome of a lot of this work of 20 years of existence, global analysts from Gartner, 451, ISG, and IDC, and many other leading analyst firms have consistently recognized for our product engineering, quality engineering, IoT engineering, AI engineering work, right? And what makes me so excited while we bring to today's context is there is a radical shift, a momentous shift, a pivotal moment that's happening the way software applications, software products, devices are getting tested and automated, right? So let's just take a look at what's happening in the industry. Right? Gartner profusely, prophetically states the fact that applications to be delivered significantly faster, right? We know today modern day companies release software, production ready software at breakneck speeds. Probably every few minutes software gets released today. But how do you make sure such applications are getting tested, automated, and then all of that is done very intelligently? So that is what is happening currently. And to spin that a little bit more complex, right? Pretty much everything today is intelligent, right? We're talking to devices, we're talking to interfaces, conversational interfaces, AI-infused applications, AI-driven applications, which means that the ability to test those applications, the ability to automate those applications, the ability to look at millions of data points in terms of understanding and doing extreme shift right paradigm in terms of ensuring modern day experiences become reality. We are living in the age of experience economy. So it's a very interesting time out to be there. But what is of significantly important, noteworthy point is a lot of this can happen really well if you put autonomous testing at the center of your quality engineering strategy. So let me take one more minute to talk about that before I hand it to Sai. So we believe autonomous testing, as Gartner again repeats, right, 30% of organizations see, look, it's just not Uber or any of those autonomous vehicle companies that are talking about it. Every company today is a software company, which means that to ensure software quality happens at the speed at which today's modern day customer need it, right? There is a lot of focus on ensuring that advances of AI and machine learning and intelligent automation to be taken advantage while it comes to your test scripting, right? Which means that you got to enable quality across a continuous testing pipeline with zero human intervention. And that is simply possible if you rely on the paradigm of autonomous testing. The beauty with autonomous testing is it can be deployed across SDLC. It can help you accelerate significantly the readiness to the market because it sort of balances your whole shift left and shift right paradigms. And on top of that, if you add a well-researched AI and ML components, and if you have your automation strategy taking advantage of a self-learning, self-adapting, and self-healing capabilities, these test scripts becomes immensely powerful. And that is where the automated self-healing of the test scripts are enabling true touchless testing environment, so to speak, in an era where everything needs to be remote first, right? So therefore, we believe at InnoMinds as practitioners of this, shifting to an AI-driven autonomous testing frameworks will definitely be the future of quality engineering. And we've already started doing that. And we started seeing significant benefits that we are able to deliver to our customers, whether it is to our AI-first quality engineering services approach, or it's also through a bunch of a homegrown test automation platform called iHarmony, which has immense amount of self-healing capabilities and autonomous AI capabilities, apart from some of the partnerships that we bring to the market. So with that as the context, let me give it to Sai. And Sai is going to talk about some of the practitioner aspects, and also his team will also show a demo of what we actually mean by this. Sai, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Sairam, for the wonderful introduction and setting the stage for the rest of the session. Let me quickly go through my screen. So are you able to see the screen? Full screen? Okay, yeah. Great. Yeah. So next 6 or 7 minutes, I will go through what we do at InnoMinds in the quality engineering space and the type of disruption innovation that we are bringing in this space to serve our customers in the current and the future. And also, most importantly, we will go through the demonstration of the platform, what is the value add it can bring in. So currently, I'm supporting 75 ISVs, enterprises, and startups. Some of them become unicorn. There is a common theme across all these customers, whether I'm working with enterprise or ISV. Everybody is continuously releasing applications, right? Google releases a patch or an upgrade every few seconds. We do not even know about it, right? So there is a need for continuous engineering, and which has become mainstream, which means testing has to be continuous, which means a lot of testing has to be automated, and a lot of events has to be automated. Test automation has to begin early in the life cycle. Automation has to be throughout the SDLC, and there is very limited time. Most of the ISVs that I work with, so they want significant automation coverage. They want automation for the full stack across from embedded chips to the complete deployment. So they want a single platform which supports multiple operating systems, browsers, thin stack or a thick stack, or API or legacy applications. So, and also there is a very little time amount of budget that I've seen allocated in terms of time for general testing shrunk from 30% to 20%, sometimes 15%. And amount of time that you get to for automation is also shrinking. And also the amount of budget is also shrinking, right? So all these challenges have compelled us to, bring innovation and bring use of AI and ML into the quality engineering. So I work with ISVs, enterprises. So most of the ERPs that you see out there, we currently support. And data and IoT is at the heart of the InnoMinds, which means we need to support data quality testing, ETL testing, and IoT platforms and embedded platforms, right? So we are constantly thinking of what kind of innovation that needs to happen, how much automation can be continuous, and how to bring autonomous in this space. So that's what compelled us to build our IP. So these are some of the challenges that I discussed, right? Cycle time is getting short, technical complexity, and the stack underneath the application is complex. Automation is taking too long, and still we are unable to automate most of the critical tasks. And one of the biggest challenge that I've seen is application UI is constantly changing. Your automation suite is becoming obsolete by the time actually you get to use it, because UI elements are constantly changing and there is a need for self-healing based approach. So how do you solve these challenges? So there is a definite need for intelligent machines and use of some kind of AI and ML to bring autonomous automation. So that is the way only it's possible to shrink the timelines, shrink the budget, and shrink the amount of skills that are required. So that's why we embarked on the mission to build our automation platform using both use of open source components and some of our own IP. So let me go through. So what is the unique about iHarmony AI compared to the traditional platforms out there? It out of the box, it delivers 10x speed compared to the traditional test automation. When I say traditional test automation, it could be Selenium Python, and Python Java, or native Python, or QTP, UFT, or Test Complete. Compared to any of the traditional platforms that you are aware of, open source or commercial off the shelf, it does 10x speed. And the platform is a single solution for automating web app or API or mobile or Windows or some of the legacy application. And most importantly, it's offering self-healing of the automation scripts based on the UI changes. So it has many inbuilt scripts. It comes out of the box. We are actually offering this as a value add. And so if I put it in 15 a dozen buckets, I don't want to spend too much time because we will focus on the demonstration. So it does support autonomous testing, which means it has the ability to read your application blueprint, generate large volume of test automation scripts, which can be continuously healed based on the UI changes. That is the most important feature, ability to generate test automation scripts with or without testers' effort, or with minimal testing overhead and skills, test team overhead skills. It supports multiple platforms out there, and we are able to schedule test execution on-premise, on the cloud, multiple browsers. So you can do a large volume testing. It supports service virtualization, integrates with multiple test data management platforms out there. And also we are offering executive dashboards with interesting go no go decision making analytics to make it easy for the testing leaders out there. And it continuously takes the application snapshots, whether it's a pass or fail, so you know what happened when something did not work as planned. Now obviously any platform today has to be CI/CD DevOps integrated, so we do offer that. The only pending features that we are postponed for the upcoming quarters is ability to generate test scenarios, which can exercise performance testing scenarios, and also security testing. So these are some of the features. So these are the quick listing of the features that we support. Complete autonomous, supporting different operating systems, record and playback, web services, service virtualization, support Groovy, Python, JavaScripting, supports TDD, BDD driven frameworks, and step-by-step execution, automated defect logging, and most of the features which are likely to be requested by testers out there, it's supporting. And the last three elements are work in progress. We want to support accessibility testing, which is becoming a mandatory need for most of the applications to be used by enterprises and both federal and non-federal out there. And also inbuilt performance and security testing. And we also have a vision to offer NLP in the coming quarters. So this is the quick roadmap of what you can expect before I give that session to the Anu, who is going to do the demo. We will be integrating security testing features by end of next quarter. And currently we do not support Mac OS, but that will also be offered. So we have a team in place to do that. And also performance testing would be the most solicited feature that we are expecting. So we will be doing that and also implement the NLP based. So we are very excited to offer this platform to our customers and to the industry out there as a terrific value add to complement what we already do there. So I know it's a short session, and please feel free to ping us at info@innominds.com for the deeper demos. But for now, we will do a 8-minute demo by my colleague, both Karthik and Anu. Both are crazily passionate about use of AI into testing. Anu?
And let me brief you on the concepts. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to stop sharing.
Okay, I'm sorry, I turned up. So.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Let me brief on the applications that we are going to use for today's demo. So the first application that we have used that I'm going to show you is for the desktop automation, in which I have used Slack, which is basically a messaging platform which is desktop based, but this needs authentication from the web. That is, you need to authenticate from the Gmail ID, and then you proceed to the Slack application, wherein you do your basic feature like messaging or sending an attachment. The second area wherein we are concentrating today is on the service virtualization concept, wherein in the process of continuous testing, there are certain services which might not be available or readily available at all point of time. So what we do is we create a virtual service. We try to pull in, we create a mirroring of that particular service, trying to copy all the configuration into a virtual service environment, so that our automation can proceed continuously and we are not dependent on any third-party layer of service wherein the automation is getting hindered. The next part of the demo covers the self-healing model. That is not only the self-healing of the UI changes that is happening on the application, but also the self-healing of the API. So I have used the calculator API, using which we can see how the changes over the APIs is being captured through this particular platform. Let me proceed to the demo directly now. Are you able to see my screen, Karthik? So this is how the application looks like, and we proceed with the desktop application, creating a project, defining which type of application I'm going to automate. So since this is a desktop-based application, I'm going to select my Windows application and proceed with creating the project over here. Once I create the project, I set my agent, I set my environment, and I proceed with the automation from the actions library. So the actions library has got the inbuilt component wherein I'll pull the particular control action, pull in the type of element that is to be picked up from the application, and the type of action that I want to initiate for that particular element. Once I am done with that, I proceed with my flow, that is logging into the Slack, then signing in from Google, using the email ID password, dropping in a particular message to a recipient, and adding an attachment and signing out. So this is a flow, but yeah, you can see how the speed is the 10x time that we normally talk about. So we launched the desktop application of Slack over here, proceed to the web application, authenticate, and continue to the desktop Slack messaging platform. So you can see I'm browsed from the to the Slack application over here. I go select a particular recipient, add in a message, add an attachment. That is a basic feature of any messaging platform. So once I'm done with that, yeah, I am completed with my end-to-end scenario. I log out. You can see it's happening at such a fast speed. And the moment I'm done with the automation, I can generate a report which is very, very detailed, and you get to see the screenshot and have a log attached to each and every test steps that is being defined out over there. So anything that fails over there gives you a very clear explanation of what went wrong. So you can see over here the login part is being captured. So this was about the desktop app. The next feature that I spoke about was service virtualization, wherein I'm trying to create a virtual service from a real-time scenario and copying all the mirroring, trying to mirror all the configuration into my virtual service. So I have used a Google API using which I'm calling, and the tool that I'm integrating with over here is I'm using Pact service over here. So I go to the Google API. I create a web service project first over here. This is my web services project. I can add all the details. Now I need to add the plugin, that is the Pact plugin that I spoke about. This plugin, once I have added this particular plugin, I need to create a Pact file. So a Pact file supports a BDD level of language, and it's very, very descriptive. In terms of AI, we call it as an interaction file. So you see, this is the API that I'm calling over here. If I hit the API, I get all these services. So whichever service that I want to use for this particular API that I'm using, I'll call it over here and store it in this particular interaction file. I can also call it out in a JSON or a Java file. So once I'm done creating the Pact file, I pull this API into my automation by enabling the agent. And over here, you see, I have called the plugins action from where I'm starting the Pact server, I'm loading the interaction file. So the Pact server can be called from any of your free port that is available. So over here, I enter the port and the Pact server will automatically get started. The moment the Pact server is started, I load in my Pact file, that is the interaction file, to call in all the virtual services that I have mirrored it over here from the actual service. So in any of the automation scenario, I can pull in this particular Pact file by loading it from the plugins and use it seamlessly. So you can see I can run it, and the moment I execute it, I can see that the virtual service has been invoked, and I get to see that what all services that I wanted to capture, the response and request has been captured over here. Similarly, as in desktop, you get to see a very detailed level of reports happening over here with a detailed level of steps being captured and the screenshots being captured out over here. You also get to see the exact execution details. The next feature that I'm going to talk about is about the self-healing feature of API. So self-healing feature, we have heard a lot about the UI changes that happens, but about the APIs, because the API is something which supports a shift left methodology of testing, in which you can start testing the application at the very initial stage. But over the period of time, there are changes that happens to the API. So how do we get to track those? So what I do is I come to the API model, I pull in the API to my platform, I pull it over here, and then I call in all the APIs that I have listed out over here, and that gets previewed on my API model list. So you can use any type of APIs, JSL, WSL, Swagger. So I use the Add Calculator API over here. So you get to see, the moment I pull in the API, you get to see the request body out over here, and the model parameters, that is what input. I supply the value, value to the variables by entering the variable values, and then I pull into my test script to show how the APIs normally function in any automation scenarios. So I'll call in my web services agent and pull in from my platform actions. I call the API model action and pull in the Add Calculator API, wherein I can see that whatever variables that I have defined, it will be pulled in, and it will capture all the parameters relevant to this particular API when I execute it. So you can see I have whatever values I have supplied over here, it's been shown over in detailed report, and when I execute it, it shows me that these are all the parameters being captured from this particular API, and it also shows me the calculated value. So once I'm done with that, what happens is in future, if there is a changes that is happening over this particular API, how do I get to see that? So what I'm going to do is intentionally, I'm going to change my existing API with the value on the request body that you see over here. I change the variable, the model parameter, and then I save it. And then I'm trying to compare this API with the API that was there in my system earlier. So I go for the comparison model, and when I come to the comparison model, I get pulled up the particular API that is the base level API, and it shows me what are the comparison options. So if you see over here, this shows a very comparative of side-by-side window based, wherein I can go and see what exactly changes have happened over the API, where exactly it got changed. And in the process, I have the flexibility to merge the changes or reject the changes. So it shows clearly, like over here, the parameter was being changed. So this helps in healing the APIs, and in turn makes the automation really faster and make it seamless. That's all from my side.
So folks can ask questions in the Q&A window. Yeah. So Sairam, you want to give the closing comments?
Yeah, I mean, we are quite thrilled about the fact of adopting and applying what we believe is a truly AI-driven
So we will
approach.
hang on for a couple of minutes, and if you folks have any questions, feel free to select the Q&A window and ask your questions. We would love to answer them.
And I would encourage a lot of practitioners here to visit our website.
You can also send us a note at info@innominds.com. We would love to schedule a detailed deep dive demo, a use case relevant to your industry or your domain or your region. So we would love to interact.
There are a couple of questions I see on the chat window. Yeah. Right. And we'll be very happy to receive all of your inputs.
So this platform is actively used by about a dozen enterprises in US and a few of them in India, and some software product companies also using. And somebody is asking, are you able to really get 10x? How did you baseline that? So we compared with the amount of productivity throughput one would get using platforms out there through Selenium or QTP or UFT and other open source commercial tools. So we baseline the speed throughput of teams of varying skills within Innominds, and then compared with using the iHarmony. So that's how we have determined at minimum 10x speed. It could be a little more than 10x. So we are quite conservative on it.
There are a few more questions that I see
Sairam, you're on mute.
Oh, okay. Not.
You're still on mute.
Okay. I'm not able to. Something wrong.
So Anu, there's a question. So how long does it take to write the script, and how steep is the learning curve? Yeah.
Yeah, I just read this question. So it takes around 3.5 to 4 hours of training that we provide to show you how this particular platform works. And you can just get started because this is totally UI based. You can start writing the script. Within few hours is what this platform offers.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, Sairam.
No, as Anu said, I think it's a breeze to learn this tool. We'll be very happy to do some recorded demos and take you through a little bit more complex use cases. I see some very interesting questions. And what we are also trying to do is there will be a series of webinars that we're going to launch on the iHarmony platform, where the self-healing technology that we built, we can demonstrate for even complex use cases. We'll be very happy to engage with all of you. And do write to us with your problems, your use cases. I will be very happy to come back and see if we can solve them together and learn together as well. Anu, you are on mute.
Question: if the DOM is changing, the tool is automatically updating the script. Yes, it automatically updates the script. If the DOM changes, what we do is we capture all the properties from the DOM elements, and it's not a single or a one or two properties. We try to capture maximum properties. So tomorrow, if the UI changes, at least one of the earlier properties matches with the existing properties, and based on that, we are able to heal the elements. So I would really love to show, because it scans, it heals pages in matters of seconds. And then I have not found any application on which it was not able to go through the object, scan the entire pages, and give you the object repository in matters of seconds.
This is an interesting question. Someone is asking, I understand that PACT will be used for consumer-driven contract-based testing. If I want to perform this kind of testing, when microservices are involved, will the solution on PACT work for my use case? Any idea?
Yes, PACT is used for contract-based testing. I do agree for that. If I want to perform this kind of testing, yes, as in the example I showed it to you, that I was using a Google API service. So whatever elements, whatever request or response that I want to get from the service, I store it into my virtual environment, and whenever I want to use it for my use case, I load my interaction file. So whatever you saw in the PACT is saved as an interaction file.
Regarding to API, does it support SOAP and REST? What language is used in designing the test cases?
It supports SOAP and REST. Yes, it integrates with CI/CD. It is codeless. You have the option of record and playback as such, as well as you have the advanced level options, wherein it helps you get the OR, and based on the OR that you are able to get, all the elements. So based on that, you can initiate your action and speed up your automation.
This is a good question. Does the self-healing capability work for data model changes in data warehouses?
We haven't tried this use case. I mean, validating the self-healing on the data models, but certainly we can give a try, because as of now we haven't got such requirement.
We are actually a very data-driven AI analytics company, so we are here to learn from you as well. This is a very good use case. What we will do is we'll come back, we'll post it on our blog, our experience of doing this. Just for all your understanding, we as a company manage around 2.5 petabytes of data. So we can surely try it out. That's a good one.
I get a very interesting question, as the best demo you could do is the comparative one. Yes, for all the automation that we have done, I have always done a comparative analysis from Selenium. I automate the same scenarios with Selenium and with my platform. But due to time constraint, I was really limited to show you the best pieces that I wanted, and I didn't went to the comparison analysis. Yes, definitely we can take up and do a demo in which I can show you the comparative analysis and how, when we talk about 10x, how exactly we are doing it using 10x.
Yeah,
so there were a few questions like, does it automate Windows-based applications? Yes, it does automate Windows-based applications, and it can also automate any sort of web API, mobile, as long as it is Android. And it also has capabilities to automate any sort of legacy applications like mainframes and so on and so forth.
Do you have a fact sheet available? Yes, we can. We can send it across Brijesh Deb. You can reach out to info@marketing@innominds.com, or if you can give us your email ID, which I'll hopefully request you to. We will definitely send that. Yeah.
I also get a very interesting question as, can it do a parallel across different browsers? Yes, it does a parallel sequential across different browsers, across different environments. And it is really very easy to configure that. I would love to show a demo on that. Yes, you can combine UI and API in the same flow. Yes, it does have CLI interface. You can execute your scripts from your command line.
Hey, Anu, are you back? I thought I lost you. Yeah, there's an interesting question. Someone is asking, can we integrate API scripts with Visual Studio where the manual test cases are written in the TFS?
What we do is we pull in your test cases from your Visual Studio and put it in this particular platform. So whatever test scripts that you have already developed will not go in vain. We can utilize those scripts. Those will automatically be converted into our platform, and then we can utilize it from our platform.
Yep. Does it have a CLI interface?
Yes, it does have a CLI interface.
Wonderful. Oh, well, I think we've got.
Actually, there is an action. There are a lot of actions, inbuilt actions that is being defined. So all the Excel actions that you see, read action, write action for any particular Excel, you have those inbuilt methods. You just need to call it from your UI. Make a combination of them and use it in your automation.
Can you combine the UI and API testing in the same flow?
Yes, you can.
Great. Genius product. Okay, thank you. How long does it take to move existing automation scripts from other tools into iHarmony?
So we have inbuilt integration with Selenium and Appium. We can actually integrate all those test automation scripts into this platform with very minimal effort. And if at all your scripts are into UFT or something else, then why do you want to really import into it? You can actually generate your automation scripts within no time. In that case, I don't see a reason why you have to again import your existing scripts.
Right.
Hardly take a week or a couple of weeks to generate all these thousands of scripts in iHarmony. Then there is no point for again spending the same sort of effort to import your existing scripts.
Awesome. Maybe I think we can take this as a last question unless we have time. How does it handle SLA conformance via traffic throttling for API orchestration? Any thoughts, Karthik, Anu?
Sorry?
How does it handle SLA conformance via traffic throttling in API orchestration?
So we haven't tested this sort of scenarios, especially with respect to traffic throttling. Usually it comes into telecom domain. We haven't tested this sort of use case using iHarmony. I think that's a good use case to actually validate.
Yeah.
If we get an opportunity, we can certainly validate and then get back to you on that.
That's again goes back to the core competence of Innominds as an IoT and device company. I think we will be able to do that. We will get back with that update. The organizers, do we have time or are we running short of time? Because this looks a very engaging keynote because I see a bunch of questions which we are very excited to answer.
We wish we could provide you the time, but we have a next meeting.
I understood.
No
I understood. But this has been great, Aftab. You've been a great host on behalf of Innominds. Myself and Sai, Anu and Karthik, all of you thank for a wonderful kickoff. And we are all here. We'll be very happy to provide more updates and we're going to learn from all of you. Thank you very much. Go try out iHarmony. It's on our website. We'll be very happy to show you detailed demos and learn together and explore a world of autonomous testing. Thank you.